All right, good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to work out assignment number 3. So I've got the PDF open over here. Step 1, download the file, P03 Java, and edit it. And then we start. We're going to create a scanner. It's been a while. I already put the import line in here for you. So right here, scanner, I like to call it scan, but you know that word could be anything, equals a new scanner system.in. Okay, that makes a scanner. Then I want to declare a variable num. I'm going to make it equal to 0 here. And then the next step is to do a while loop and ask the user to enter a number greater than 999. And if they enter a value less than 1,000, say too small, otherwise exit the loop. Okay, so while true, that works. Okay, I made a loop. See, we're not queuing. I mean, you could say while num less than 1,000. You know, that works too. I don't mind. I was just going to say while true and then do a break when the number was sufficient. But let's do it this way. Okay. And then we want to prompt the user, system.out.println. Please enter a number greater than 999. And then we say num equals scan next int. All right. And let's see, it's going to automatically leave the loop if it's bigger, but let's do an if statement. If num less than 1,000, system.out.println, too low, please try again. All right, and then otherwise it'll leave. Let's run it. Compiling. All right, enter number greater than 999. I'm going to enter the number 6. Hit enter. Let's scroll up, make sure we can see. It said too low, please try again. And then let's enter 1, 2, 3, 4. And the program ends. Perfect. Okay, so that's part 1. Let's go back here. Once they do enter a number, create an array list and put each digit from their number into the array list. Sorry, I know it's not all visible here. It's just because I zoomed out the window. Put each number into the array list. So the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 would be on the left, 2, 3, 4, like that. Okay, so first, create an array list. We're going to put integers in it. So we're going to click up here, array list, capital I integer. Remember, array lists only hold object data. I'm going to call it list equals new array list integer. This is how you create an array list. Array lists could very well be on the exam, so you want to review them if you're struggling with that. All right, and now we want to put all the digits from their number into the array list one at a time. And I said in the instructions you're going to use modulo and also divide. So I don't want to destroy the number, the integer num, so I'm going to make a new variable temp int equals num. Okay, so I'm going to say while temp int is greater than 0. So I'm going to loop until this number is 0. Sorry, I just paused it there and had to take a phone call, but I'm back. I don't know what I just said, but I can see what I wrote. It says while temp int is greater than 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, let's just visualize, what if the number is 1, 2, 3, 4? Now, I want the 4. I want to get the 4 off the list. And so I'm going to say list.add temp int modulo 10. So what that'll do is add the digit 4, the far right digit. It'll add it to the array list. All right, and then I can say temp int equals temp int divided by 10. That chops off that 4, because when you divide by 10 and it's an integer, it just removes one whole digit of the number. Remember, because we don't keep the decimals. Now, I think what we've got here is I'm putting them all in there, but I'm putting them in the wrong order. So, but I want to just show you how we can tell. You know, you don't have to have it all figured out ahead of time. Let's see what happens. This is going to put all the numbers in. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 just to be consistent. And notice it put the digits in the wrong order. If we go back to the instructions, I said if you entered 1, 2, 3, 4, I want the array list to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So, easy way to fix that. When you're doing the add command in an array list, if you just add an object to the array list, it goes to the end. And so in this case, if I say add, if I do a 0, comma, it'll add each item to the beginning of the array list. And that way, you know, when we add the 4, it doesn't matter. But then when we add the 3, if we have a 0, comma there, that means it'll add the 3 at spot 0. And then it'll add the 2 at spot 0. And then it'll add the 1 at spot 0. And long and the short, we'll get them in the right order. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Okay. So print the array list using a simple print call. I just did that right here. Let's see what's next. Using nested for loops, check and report if any digits in the array list are duplicates. Use an if-else statement, so you say if there are dupes and if there are not dupes. Okay. So this is just to remind you one of the algorithms we learned searching an array or an array list for duplicates is using nested for loops. So I'm going to make 2 for loops. Int I equals 0, I less than list dot size. Remember array lists, you use size with parentheses. I plus plus. So this is going to go through every item in the array list, and then what we're going to do is check the current item with every other item to the right. So I'm going to do another variable, int j equals, I'm going to say I plus 1, because if we started at I, it would find itself and then consider that a duplicate. So, and we're going to say j less than list.size, same thing. Okay, and now we can say if, okay, and now here, if this was a method, we could just say, you know, return true, like we found a duplicate. But since it's not a method, I'm going to make a flag variable up here, boolean dupe equals false. All right, I'm setting a flag variable saying there are no duplicates. But right here, we're going to check if list.getI equal list.getJ, then we say dupe equals true. So see that we're getting, we're always getting the current value, that's I, like it'd be a index 0, and then we're checking all the other ones to see, does that value in index 0, is that found anywhere else? If it is, we say true. We just keep going, and we don't do else false because we set it false up top. So, and then down here we can say if dupe, and you can say if dupe equal true, but you don't have to because dupe is a Boolean variable. So I'm not going to use curly brackets here. If dupe system.out.println, there at least one digit has a duplicate, because we're not counting how many. I just only asked you to tell me if there was a dupe or not. There are no duplicate digits. Okay, so we're going to see if my plan worked. I'm going to enter 1, 2, 3, 4, and we should be told there are no duplicate digits. Oh, interesting. I guess I didn't do a print ln up here, but there was no need for that. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we got the array list. There are no duplicate digits. Let's run it again, this time with duplicate digits. And at least one digit has a duplicate. Cool, yeah, and I didn't ask you to tell me which one or anything. That's fine. All right, create an int array that has the number of elements as the array list. All right, so we're right down here. Int, I'm going to call it ARR equals new int, and you do square brackets when you're creating an array. And I'm going to say list.size. Okay, so that's creating that. Next, put the digits from the array list into the array in the same order. Alrighty then. I'm going to go up here and copy this for loop line because I can. And we're going to go through the whole array list and put each item into the integer array. So I'm going to say ARR sub I equals list get I. That's how you get access to items in an array list using the get call. But then for a regular array, you use the square bracket notation. Okay, so that takes care of that request. We are up to number 8, print the digits in the array in a single line with a space between each digit. All right, so again, we're going to do a for loop. I have that same thing here. It's okay that it's based on list size. I mean, probably for good form, let's say it's based on arr.length. Hey, and that can remind you that arrays length is available by .length without any parentheses after. All right, and right here we're going to say system.out.print ARR square bracket I plus space. And then when this loops over, I'm going to print a blank line. So I can type it correctly. So let's go ahead and run that. And I'm going to go back to my old favorite 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the array list, there's no duplicate digits, and then here's the array printed out. All right, so now using a for loop, print each digit starting with index 0 multiplied by the power of 10 that it was originally, 1 on each line. So if the user entered 1, 2, 3, 4, you'd print 1,000 for the 1, and then 200 for the 2, and then 30, and then 4. As you print these numbers, add them up. Okay. It's getting real. Guess what? I still got that for loop on here. ARR.length. Okay. Now, I'm going to add up all these numbers that I'm about to print. So I'm going to make a variable sum equals 0. And right here, I want to get that, let's say again that we were doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Have a sip of my tea. The 1 we're going to multiply by 1,000. And the 2 we're going to multiply by 100. And the 3 we're going to multiply by 10. And the 4 we're going to multiply by 1, or just leave it by itself. Okay, so let's first capture that digit multiplied by the right number. So I'm going to say int t for temp equals, so ARR I, all right, so you're with me, that is, first off that would be, the 1. And now I'm going to say t equals t times, now we want to multiply this by a power of 10. Math.pow, I'm going to say 10 raised to a certain power. So if we want to multiply the 1 by 1,000, that's 10 to the third. And by my reckoning, the length of our number is 4 digits, and the power we want to multiply the power of 10 is 1 less than the digit we're on. Hear me out. So we're going to say r dot length minus I minus 1. And what that means is this 1, when we want to multiply 1 by 1,000, so we want this number to be equal to 3. And array.length is 4, right? There's 4 numbers in the array. Minus I starts out at 0, and then minus 1 gets it from 4 down to 3. Okay, and just to check, when we come down to the 2, we want it to be multiplied by 100, and so here 2 is at index 1, so we have the length is 4, minus 1 is 3, minus 1 is 2. And we have 10 to the 2, which is 200. So let's just test. We should have, let's see, I forget what I did wrong here. Oh, yeah, this happened to me when I worked it out the other day. Math.pow is a double. And they're warning us that, hey, you might be losing some specificity here, but we don't care. We want it to be an integer. So I just cast that math.pow to an int, and everything will be fine. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. And, hey, we got 1,230 and 4. Okay, so that's what I wanted. Now, I want you to add this to sum each time. So I'm going to say sum plus equals t. So we're adding it as we go along. And then when the printing of the numbers is done, use an if statement to verify that the sum you just calculated by adding all these numbers is the same as the number the user originally entered. This is our last thing, so it's pretty easy here. If sum equal num, remember that was the name of our original variable. All good, everything adds up. Otherwise, and we should never say that, hey, something isn't right. Just entered a huge number. We'll see if that worked. Interesting how the 0 times whatever, 1,000 just says 0, but that's good. Says everything all adds up. We did have a duplicate digit. Yeah. So there you go, everybody. That's what I wanted you to do. Yeah, I know that was a lot, so thanks for sticking with me. And I was just trying to review a bunch of things to drag up your memories of what we learned earlier this year. All right. Have a great day. I'm going to post a solution to a problem for later.